Tom Yum soup is a Thai classic, loaded with shrimp, wild mushrooms, spicy chilies, and layers of aromatic in this rich, umami-packed broth. But I think I can make it better with a few chef techniques. And hey, if things get a little dramatic while we make it, my pen rhyme, as they say in Thailand. Sound good? Let's cook. I've got 1.5 pounds of deveined, unpeeled 1620 shrimp, which means you'll get 16 to 20 shrimp per pound. However, any size shrimp will work for this recipe, as well as it being previously frozen and now thawed. And one of my favorite parts about this soup, and I'm sure you'll love it too, is that it's super low in calories. Now, since these shrimp are already deveined, all I'm looking to do is remove the shell, so pinch the legs, wrap the shell around the body, and simply pull it off. Nothing more than that. And yes, I'm leaving the tail on. Sorry, it just looks way better in the final plate up, and I'll show you in a bit. But first, if your shrimp aren't deveined or peeled, check out my garlic shrimp pasta video on how to quickly do both of those. At this stage, we're going to make a quick shrimp stock, so for now I'm going to give the peeled shrimp a quick rinse under cold water, a strain, and then I'm placing it in the fridge until I'm ready to dunk them in our Tom Yum soup. In addition, let's do the same thing with the shrimp shells. A quick rinse and strain, and then bring them over to the cooktop to make that stock. I've got a 3-quart saucepan. I'm adding in 3 tablespoons of cooking oil and turning the heat up to medium. After 30 to 45 seconds of heating it up, add in the shrimp shells, and we're going to toast these up for maybe just 3 to 4 minutes to help release more of that shrimp flavor. But while they're cooking, how about some really quick prep on a few things to make the shrimp stock even better? Roughly chop 1/4 of a yellow, red, white, or sweet onion, then slice 1 carrot, the same cut on 1 rib of celery, and then finally smash 1 garlic clove. Now bring all that meat back over to the cooktop and let's have a look at our shrimp shells. Excellent. They're pink and nice and crunchy and perfect for a flavorful stock. At this point, let's stir in the veggies along with 5 to 6 parsley stems and 1 bay leaf and give them a quick saute for 4 to 5 minutes or just until the edges start to lightly brown. And again, we're still over medium heat. Now to make this even more delicious and loaded with umami and not to mention a deeper red color, add in 2 teaspoons of tomato paste. We're going to stir this in and cook it for 2 to 3 minutes to pince. You'll know you're good when it turns the bottom of the pan and veg to a rust-like color just like this. Better techniques like this make meals worth remembering, I promise. Now let's pour in 6 cups of cold water and we're going to simmer this over low to medium heat for about 45 minutes. That's the max time to pull out as much flavor as it will allow. But in the meantime, some quick prep. I've got 2 pieces of lemongrass, slice off the root end, and then using the spine of your chef's knife, give it a few gentle chops to break up the lemongrass. This will help crack open the cells and release all that delicious citrusy flavor and aromas. Then slice them into roughly 2-inch long pieces. Next up, I've got 12 ounces of fresh wild mushrooms. In a traditional Tom Yum soup, fresh raw mushrooms are used, but those are hard to come by unless you're near a boutique Asian market. And if not, enoki, oysters, and shiitakes like I have here will absolutely get the job done and be ridiculous. Chef-likey. To prep up the enoki, I just want to trim off the base and then simply pull them apart. Super easy. For the oyster mushrooms, I just like to pull them along their natural fibers to make long skinny pieces like this. Then for the shiitakes, wiggle and pull off the stem and then stack those caps 3 to 4 high, and I'm simply going to quarter them and wait until you see the controversy I plan to cause with these. But first, I've got 4 shallots that I want to peel. And yes, within one shallot, there are usually 2, a bigger and a smaller one. If they're on the larger side, then I'm slicing them in half. Then I've got a roughly 2-inch piece of fresh ginger that I'm going to peel and thinly cut into about 1/4-inch slices. Now classically, galangal would be used, but I have almost zero access to getting this, so ginger is a solid substitute. And to release some of those bright zingy flavors, I'm just going to give them a quick smash with the side of the knife. Now for the penultimate prep ingredient, cilantro. Traditionally, you'd use the cilantro root, but in the US, that's pretty hard to come by, so the stems will do. Simply cut about 20 of them into 1/2-inch pieces. Then for the leftover cilantro leaves, all I'm looking to do is roll them up and julienne them. And now for the last step in the mise en place, Thai chilies. These can be hard to come by, so maybe things like jalapenos could work for you, or even dried chilies will work. Just note that Thai chilies fall between 50,000 and 100,000 on the Scoville. No matter what you choose, slice off the stem, and then I'm adding them into a mortar and using a pestle, I'm just going to grind it down to release all of its flavors and aromas. I'm definitely only using 2 here, and I'm sure you're all laughing at me, especially the folks in Thailand who straight up want inferno level spice. But sorry, no pet John Tut Pun Phi for me. Okay, let's wrap up the peppers and go peek in on our shrimp stock. It looks and smells amazing. All we want to do is strain it through a chinois or fine mesh strainer, push through as much liquid as possible. We're going to set it to the side. And now let's start some Tom Yum level drama. Take the mushrooms over to the cooktop, and I'll be making this Tom Yum in a 5-quart pot. Add in enough oil to coat the bottom of the pan, and let's turn up the heat to medium-high and let it heat up for about a minute or so, or just until it begins to lightly smoke like this. Let's add in the mushrooms, give them a gentle season of salt, and we're going to saute these for about 3 to 4 minutes. The goal is to get a little Maillard on these, and hey, since Tom Yum refers to chaotic and dramatic in a spicy way, I figured we'll do exactly that. Sorry, I don't like soggy, waterlogged mushrooms, so once they're browned up like this, let's add another tablespoon or 2 of cooking oil and add in the shallots. I know, I love controversy, but I promise this will just make for a more flavorful soup. We want to do the same thing, just a light little caramelization on these. This is only going to take 3 to 4 minutes at that same medium-high heat. The flavors will just be more pronounced if you do this, and that's what I'm looking for. Layers of flavor at every step. And in addition, this will also help sweeten everything up as well for the perfect balance.
And yeah, I realize this is definitely different and will probably ruffle some Thai feathers. But for me, I'm all about building flavor in stages. And mushrooms, when roasted, take on the most incredible umami flavor, making it that much more delicious. So for me, I'm sorry, but it's got to be done.
Now let's break our shrimp stock out and pour in all 5 cups to the glaze. Then for a little more chaos on the scene, 3 cups of chicken stock. This will make the soup so much richer, so skip the water and use this instead. And no, it won't interfere one bit with the shrimp stock. At this stage, let's add in the lemongrass and ginger, followed up with the cilantro stems, 2 kaffir leaves, and then 1 to 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. And why do I always feel the need to smell this every time I use it?
Dude, it is. Oh gosh, can you?
I'm ridiculous, I know. Okay, now for one of the most important ingredients in this entire soup, Nam Prik Pao or Thai chili paste. Sorry if I butchered any pronunciations up to this point. There are a few options for these depending on the level of spice you want. I snagged these from Amazon, but if you don't want to go that route, any chili paste will be an acceptable substitute for this. But you know me, I'll keep it traditional. Add in 1.5 to 2 tablespoons along with a good seasoning of salt. Give it a stir to marry up all those flavors and of course have a taste. It should be dang flavorful. And at this point, let's add back in our shrimp and simmer over low heat just until they're done, which honestly only takes a few minutes. When they're done, the shrimp will be pink, and then the shape of them will be a loose C like this. If it's a tight C, they're overcooked. Sorry. So in the end, watch closely. Now let's wrap up our tom yum with 12 ounces of evaporated milk. No coconut milk is not classically used in this. Sorry for my US friends. The evaporated milk will help chill any spice out and make it much creamier. Next, scrape in all those fresh Thai chilies in there. Then to help curb some of that heat, I'm squeezing in the juice of 2 limes, or about 2.5 to 3 tablespoons. Beautiful. Let's add in the julienned fresh cilantro leaves, and we're almost done with this. But first, you need your classic sides with this, which are simply steamed rice and kajiao, which is essentially a Thai omelet. Be sure to grab that recipe on my site at the link above. It's awesome. And now for a final plate-up. Ladles and ladles of tom yum, minus the lemongrass for me, of course. Put it into a bowl, and then a final garnish of cilantro, and this right here, ridiculous.
Now, if you're looking to check out another famous Thai dish, my drunken noodles is where it's at, and the story of how that came to be is crazy, and I'll tell you all about it on that video. See you there. It's so refreshing. So good. The mushroom, oh my gosh.